Time is now 6:36, and the Contracts and Properties Committee meeting is now called to order. Tuesday, September 9th, 2014. Roll call, please.
Counselor Wheeler.
Here.
Councilwoman Thomas.
Here.
Counselor Baker.
Present. Legislation.
Ordinance number 39-14. An ordinance amending section 105.04A of the codified ordinances of the city of East Cleveland, authorizing the disposition of unimproved, non-productive residential vacant side yard lots adjacent to homeowner occupied lots for the sum of $100 and declaring an emergency for the public health, safety, and welfare.
All right. Community development. Anyone? Two people representing community development. If you wanted to have any discussion on this piece of legislation, Ms. Wallace. Or also our chief building official is represented tonight, Tony Bombalis, and also our department manager, building and housing. Let the record also reflect that our deputy law director, David Blake, is in attendance for the mayor administration.
Okay, I'm Ms. Wallace. As you said, the office manager for building and housing. I definitely support the amendment to the legislation because it definitely would allow the city to get some of the inventory out of their stock, and it would release us from the responsibility of maintaining those vacant lots.
All right. Chief, you have anything?
No, I have nothing to add at this time for you.
Okay. Ms. Wallace, quick question, if I can get to discussion at this point. Who came up with the $100 number?
That was prior approved by City Council. I believe Mildred Brewer.
Ms. Brewer did that, but she only did that, I'm sorry, I just wanted to
Go
let
ahead.
you know. She only did that to lots that was unbuildable.
Correct.
And other than that, they were, would be looked at through appraisal.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Correct.
May I?
Yes, sir.
Unbuildable is talking about the lot size, basically too small to build upon, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Got a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Explain to me when you say appraisal in terms of this situation. What do you
For
mean?
the neighbor next door, appraisal would not be required if the lot is less than 4,356 square feet.
So this doesn't have to be appraised, is that what you're saying?
Not the neighbor next door,
Go
no.
on.
The neighbor next door that just purchased. All right. I just wanted to poll my colleagues. Are we still comfortable with that number, knowing our fiscal situation?
What do you mean, are we?
Comfortable with just $100 sale of lots?
Well, that number is for the neighbor next door, if I'm correct. The neighbor has to be adjacent to their property to buy that, correct?
Yes, it has to be adjacent to their property. If I may add, Councilman Baker, that the applicant would also have to eat the expense of recording that deed. They'll also be required to have the lot consolidation. They have to hire a plot surveyor, and the cost for the plot surveyor ranges anywhere from $200 to $700 to get that lot consolidated. So I believe in asking them for $100 is a fair price.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
is all, I know it's in the other ordinance, what you just said, that was approved. Does that also be in the, when people come to get this, are they explained what this $100 encompasses?
It is explained when they pick up the applications. It's also in the application what the other requirements are prior to transfer.
All right,
I'm fine with it.
okay. I don't have a problem. If you're,
I just wanted to raise questions. We kind of let it a lot of things go for real cheap, but thank you for letting me know that there's some other additional costs in
We
there.
ain't doing that.
But we do let things slip out of the back door, a little cheap.
Not anymore.
Not.
But, you know, it's just my concern that going forward, we may want to reevaluate our amounts within our, you know, our
Well, just to
revenue-based
add,
programs.
you know, I've done a little research and, you know, we are in line with the county land bank, because they only charge $100 for their side lot program as well.
All right.
And then too, I got one
Maybe
more,
you're trying to be fair to the residents too.
I got one more comment. It's only fair if I'm living next door to that lot, and I've been, working on that lot as well as my, yard. And I've been taking care of the whole year, a lot of years, and I just wanna add to it, and you can.
Yeah, and that, quite frankly, is the case within a lot of the, you know, communities, standpoint, is that they take care of the lot next door and have been doing so for some of 7 years, some of them, cutting the grass and things like that, so it's only fitting. All right, thank you, Ms. Wallace.
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
Just like to remind council, I believe it was stated this morning that it costs the city somewhere around $1,200 to maintain the lot for a year.
Correct.
So $100, it's not much. It's actually a good price to charge for this.
True.
And it saves the city somewhere around $1,100.
Oh, my finance guy is on the ball. Go ahead on with your damn self.
All right, resolution 42-14. Read that into record, please.
Resolution number 42-14, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Maxine and Phelan Cheek at a cost of $350 and $0, a parcel of land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1645 Elberon Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, permanent parcel number 672-06-052, and declaring an emergency for the public welfare, health, and safety.
You want to go over that application?
Prime example, the residents at 1649 Elberon requested to purchase a vacant land at 1645 Elberon. Because it was over, it exceeded the definition of unbuildable lot as the current owners, as it currently states, in the ordinance, they were required to get an appraisal on that piece of land. That appraisal cost them $250.
Okay.
That the NAC has recommended, that this be approved at that cost.
Who did the appraisal?
The appraisal was done by Donald Dura.
The resale contractor. All right, it's yeah. Maxine or Devon Cheek available today.
I wasn't aware that their attendance was required at this meeting.
All right, discussion.
Mr. Chair, I recommend that we also accept this. Mr. and Mrs. Cheeks, came to East Cleveland a number of years ago. They started off in the apartment building that sits right on the corner of Superior and Euclid. They were renters at that time, and she said her husband is a disabled individual, and she said to me at that time if they ever got enough money, they would buy the house and become homeowners. And they have become homeowners, and they have kept up their property. It is beautiful over there. That's all.
That's correct. They've been there for 8 years.
Okay. All right, any other discussion?
That's all.
Sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering, in light of the legislation before it, if it would be at all possible for the council to, and with the building and housing, maybe stall this, and then if we passed $100, could they get it for $100? I mean, when you say it's gonna cost them $7 to do the plot, and then some more money to survey it, and and they've already paid $250 for it, and then another $350 on top of it, it's vacant land. I just think, you know, no?
No.
I was just.
Well, this lot size.
This is a tad bit bigger.
This lot size is big, correct?
The lot size is bigger than that.
Yeah, but the new legislation allows for it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying for you, you're beginning to set a precedent. If that happens right now, if somebody else comes up here, they're gonna say, well, you did it for X amount of person. I think that she's satisfied if she gets that, at whatever she gets to that. And I know we wanna be overly concerned and want her to have this, and I definitely want her to have it. But I'm not ready to set a precedent up here and wait for something to happen so that someone can get something that's a little bit off center.
Yes, and the plot consolidation can be done at a later time. The city will still be able to go ahead with the transfer of that property.
Just trying to say this.
I love you for that.
All right, thank you so much, that'll be all. Is there any other concern? Okay. Disposition for ordinance 3914. It shall please my colleagues that I'd like to refer that.
That's 42.
I'd like to refer that to the regular,
There's one more, Counsel.
sorry, 43, resolution 4314, read that into the record,
A
sorry.
resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Lanni Woods, doing business as X Enterprise at a cost of $150, a parcel of land held by the city as part of its land utilization program and located at 2005 Hillsborough Road, East Cleveland, Ohio 44112, permanent parcel number 673-15-015, and declaring an emergency for the public welfare, health, and safety.
Same.
Pretty much this actually has a structure on it. The applicants did pay an appraisal fee of $350 in order to move forward with their request to rehab this structure.
Okay.
So my question to you, Mr. King, would you did have to do it for this one too? See what I mean?
No,
So,
no, this is not a side lot. This
Don't
is
matter.
the right of purchase. No, but the legislation only applies to side lots.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion?
yeah, you said there's a structure on the property,
Yes,
and the structure itself is appraised at how much?
the appraised value was $150.
Okay. What was the selling price prior to that, do you know?
I do not have that information.
How long has it been vacant, roughly? Oh, you got
Yeah,
this?
let's look at the, it's in there. You're welcome.
Total value in the past was $85,900. So it needs a lot of work done to the home.
Yes,
So it's not unreasonable to charge $150 for a house that needs a lot of work. That could be a $100,000 home, correct?
correct.
Okay.
None will come back. Actually, when we put, and I might be wrong, so I'm saying this off the top of my head. Ordinarily, we aren't really, when we take, land into the land bank, it's not supposed to have a structure on it, is it?
To my knowledge, no, but this was all done prior to me
No, I'm
taking
just,
over.
that's the
This process.
guideline, what it's supposed to happen, it's not even.
Unless there's, I believe, a development in sight
Yeah.
or some future. Okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, you know, why is it a structure on the site that we're
Well,
taking?
They're there.
But okay, so this is still a land bank,
Right, correct,
And we're talking about the property.
the property itself, the parcel
correct.
itself, not the structure.
The structure, they want to purchase the structure and they would like to rehab it.
Okay.
And they have shown evidence that they have the capability of
Technically, you're
rehabbing
purchasing
it.
this parcel, but it has a structure on it.
Correct.
So we're not even, the structure's not even in question, it's the parcel that they're buying.
They're buying the structure.
Not really, but not for $150. But okay, thank you.
I have a point of clarity, and I think that I'm accurate. I wish maybe Belinda can help with this. The land bank is separate from the neighbor next door.
It's two different ordinances.
Two different ordinances, and I think the neighbor next door is vacant, it only takes in vacant properties. And then, but the land bank can take in any property, it doesn't have to be vacant. Oh, I forgot, I'm sorry, I forgot you were sitting there.
I'm not here often.
There she is, so that's the way that works.
But originally, they're not supposed to, in the land bank, not supposed to take. And I'm just saying, from a long time ago, that's what the land bank is, a piece of land. So, we can straighten that out later. So you better believe we'll be looking at it, okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So now can I offer the dispositions? Clerk, ordinance number 39-14, my colleagues would like to see that on the agenda.
Need a motion for that? I mean, yeah.
Just as regular.
Common consent, yeah.
It's common consent.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Ordinance 39-14 shall be referred to the regular council meeting, the next regular council meeting. Resolution number 42-14.
Moving forward, yes.
Moving forward.
Yes.
Resolution 42-14 shall be referred to the next regular scheduled council meeting.
Yes.
And resolution 43-14 disposition.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 43-14 shall be referred to the next regularly scheduled council meeting. Remarks of the public.
Is it my understanding the house is now $100?
No, the man wants to start. Go ahead. State your name and
Good afternoon.
address.
My name is Gerald Silvera, 2203 Lee Boulevard. And I come before you under several different hats, but mainly tonight I'm coming as a member of the Board of Trustees of the East Cleveland Public Library. I have a concern and a question, and I would like hopefully the council to provide some clarity on process and procedures regarding the Neighborhood Advisory Committee. It involves property that your family is seeking behind the library, Mr. King.
So she could have made it this morning, we kind of settled it this morning.
Pardon me.
I'm sorry, you're out of order for one.
You can't call a name.
You cannot call a councilor's name and unofficially
I
respond at
apologize.
this point.
Okay.
All right. And I refer back to meeting from last month regarding the NAC meeting. And I happened to watch the video of the meeting from 44112 News. And what concerns me is the possible lack of due diligence that that committee does in validating property ownership prior to discussion of those proposals before the committee. And I had asked for copies of the applicant's application through Freedom of Information, but was never responded to. So this is one of the reasons why I came out here tonight. That particular effort, the applicant in that instance, Norma King, claimed to represent her own property at 1735 Elsinore Road. And as an applicant, and the issue for me is that when you look at the county records, Norma King is not the property owner.
Nope. No.
Property owner is 1735 Elsinore LLC. So if proper due diligence is applied to that process, then the corporation is the entity in question, and the corporation is the applicant. And as a corporation, that corporation board has to pass a resolution authorizing its officers to engage in that transaction. And I, at this point, have not seen that, and I would like some clarification to that point. Because for me, if that did not take place, then the process that the advisory committee went through is void. And so I would hope that either someone would provide some clarity to that. And in terms of that process, who were the actual owners of the property, and if the proper due diligence was complied with for whatever decision that the Neighborhood Advisory Committee made as a result of that application.
Sir, I would just suggest that you take a public information's request and
I've made that public request to Mr. Smedley, Chief of Staff,
Mhm.
and no response.
at this point, I would have to delay that request and ask that you go through our clerk.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you very much.
Hold on, you're not there.
Yeah, I went to that meeting today for, the neighborhood advisory, whatever it is. I'm just as shocked, I'm just really shocked over this whole thing, this King Properties thing, and this mysterious Norma King that they said was buying this property, and she doesn't own the property. I'm really distressed that Dr. Rice has to go through all this stuff on property they really owe. And I don't understand how we're putting the library through all this stuff. And people are seeing it, and they're saying what's going on. They want to know why council person is not just given the property that we need so bad. That's our library. We only got one. And we need it. We need that property. We need them to have that parking lot. And for a council person, one of your colleagues, to be putting our library through something like this is now turning ugly. And I know it's gonna make its way here on a deal that I think the thing was put on tape was that his property, LL, whatever their corporation is, that they're gonna offer the property, but they're gonna offer this, and that's another thing, this thing of people getting these appraisals. I don't understand. Lanni Woods, when we went through the Lanni Woods thing that you guys just voted on, when you went through Lanni Woods, and I heard her say how much trouble she had gone through, I wasn't aware there was a structure. Because here we go again. I hate to say here we go again, but we are going again. Because here we go again. It doesn't matter what type of property is. If it's got a building on it, it's a whole different thing than a piece of land. And I don't care how you guys can put it up. That's why I asked, is it $100? I asked, are we doing this for a $100 house? Because it's something that needs to be put out. And we might need to call it, that's what the amount was for that last nightmare we had. But I just want to know when this thing rolls around to this place, and it's rolling slowly, making its way here. And, that committee is just something else. And the video's just showing. I mean, we almost had one the first meeting I came to. They didn't even have enough members to have the meeting. We're going to do a thing, meetings by phone or something. But it's a mess. And when Michael Smedley comes in and jumps in, it just makes it even worse. Now, today, he was saying that we should just give it to the library.
That's your time, sir. Thank you. I want the public in this council to be advised that we do not come and we do not target council people, and this council will continue, and if I may, continue to respect the processes that are in place. And once they come before this council, we'll be cognizant that of what has taken place, both in the past and both in present actions. But let it be a reflection of our professionalism that we do not state a council member's name, if not necessary. But let's keep it very, very lukewarm and bland. And if there be any public information requests, we can do that as well. But we want to be as professional as possible. That can be respected at this point.
Mr. Chair.
Ma'am, actually, Council Martin.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say for the record, it's been my position, and it's well known, that as a former friend of the public library, and one who goes to the library almost daily, that land should be given to the library. That is my position, and that position will not change. The library is a gym. Eventually it's going to expand. They're going to need that parking. We're the only library in the county, the 59 municipalities in Kyle County, where the graveyard is performing arts that has been underutilized, that will be utilized, and will need that parking. So, not getting involved in personalities, but that's how I feel about that. Our library is well utilized, and I'm there almost on a daily basis, looking up things, researching things, reading, and that kind of thing. And that's how I feel, no matter who wants the property should be given to the library. Okay.
All right, Counsel Thomas.
I think that when this council came into a new light, new mindset, we were going to follow policies and procedures. And to me, a policy needs to be followed, procedures need to be followed by the library. If the library has set forth a request for the land, then it goes through the same process as anything or anyone else does. I have not seen that request made as of yet. So therefore, until I see black and white and see the results of the black and white, we are, should be prohibited from making decisions or making statements until it comes before us. I don't think it has come legally to pen and paper before us. I don't care what committee it goes to, it ultimately ends up in the council's purview.
I'd like to yield a few extra more minutes for the members of the public to speak, Counsel.
There she is.
Dr. Rice of the Library.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And that's a very valid point, because I wanted to put in the paperwork for the library. But we were at the very first meeting of the NAC that I attended. Mr. Smedley was there, and he's a very knowledgeable individual. Mr. Smedley said that it had to go through the processes and come to eventually to the Contract and Properties Committee, and then once, and then to council if necessary. Then once that person who had that request in is not granted the property, then the library could put in the paperwork, but not before. That was my understanding from Mr. Smedley, and he seems to have known exactly what he's speaking about. And so therefore, I took that very literally, and I'm just waiting, and I was very encouraged from our meeting this morning. So that let me know that we could begin our processes. But I'm a very Southern lady. I believe in following procedures. Since I was told that, I'm not going to go against the city manager,
Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff, Mr. Smedley.
And I'm gonna step out of line.
Okay.
You are.
Yes, I am, and I'm gonna ask permission to speak.
Personal privilege to Counsel
Yeah.
Thomas.
Mr. Smedley is not the law director. And I'm speaking. He doesn't make the law, and he doesn't direct the law. We have a law department, we have a law director, and we have a deputy law director. And my concern would have been to start there, also get some information from your building and housing. You just seen what the legislation came from the building and housing.
Yes.
And all of that came from the law department. So I'm just speaking that anyone that wants to know correctly, I would go once, and they know I don't just take anybody's word.
Okay.
I would go from Smedley to my law director. Okay. And at that point.
Let me make sure I'm clear on this. So you're saying I should contact the city law director, so the next process that I should make for the library?
Yes.
Is that what city council, if that's what you're saying, believe me, I'll be on it.
I'm not aware that there can only be one application. Director Blade, if you wanted to chime in, I don't think that it can just be one application. I think, anybody can just apply as long as it's still in our possession, right?
The land bank is governed by the Ohio Revised Code. The Ohio Revised Code sets parameters. It does not set policies and procedures. So our policy, as I understand it, is that once an application has been filed, it will be entertained. I believe notice is given to neighboring property owners, which is required by the, excuse me, Ohio Revised Code. As far as any internal policies and procedures, those are up to the NAC or the group that's setting the policies.
If we can continue, if you wanted to wrap up.
Before she
That's-
sits down, I had a
Yes,
comment.
sir.
Chair recognizes.
Person privilege, Councilman King.
Make this short and sweet. Hi, Dr. Rice, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Good to see you again
It's
today.
a blessing to see you as well.
Now, try to make this short and sweet. Applicant looked through the East Cleveland Land Bank, saw some parcels that they were interested in, parcels which had been vacant for over 6-7 years. The applicant applied for those parcels. The NAC meeting last month came to light that the library actually wants those properties. An email was submitted into the NAC record this morning, an email which basically stated that the applicant would not or would yield to the library for that property. So there's no debate, there's no argument as to who should get the property. I grew up in the library. Ms. Rice, thank you for coming out here tonight.
Thank you. I'll turn it back.
Thank you.
Submit the paperwork.
The name is Bacola Stanberry.
That's the problem.